And we are live. Hi, everyone. I am Karen, also known as Between Paperback Worlds.
And I am Sasha Bonet, also known as Readings, Friends, and Chai Sips.
And this is the first episode of Burning at Both Bookends.
Period.
Woo, woo, woo. And I think we should start off strong for our
Oh,
first
okay.
episode.
Yeah.
And let's talk about some very controversial topics in the book community book space.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about this earlier and we wrote down some things that we might want to talk about for this episode or maybe multiple episodes.
Yep.
Um, and it was perpetuating rape culture and pedophilia in romance books.
Right.
Very heavy topic, very dark topic. Do you want to start?
Okay. So this is a very deep topic, right? So I am heavily romance. That's my main genre that I like to read, even though I read everything. That is what I love the most.
Mm-hmm.
I love romance, I love love, and all of that. Recently, learning of the kinks and the things that people like does not bother me in controlled environments with consensual adults. Okay, let's get that out of the way. However, a book like Does It Hurt? Hunting or Haunting Adeline, um, Chantel Tessier, those books do perpetuate, I believe, rape culture.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
The sky is gonna open up.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Um,
Okay.
let's talk about Does It Hurt? Because I know you've read that one.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
My
What are your thoughts on the what was in that book?
my main thought when I read it is who is this for? Who
Okay.
would read this book and love the romance and quotations of this book? Who would think that these characters are good for each other? Who would think that he's a good man? Who would think that this is an interesting story?
Right,
And
because he's not a good man, Savannah.
at all. And it just made me think what when you think of a romance book, what about this book perpetuates that? How is you feeling all like butterflies in your stomach? Oh, ooh, like does that book, Does It Hurt, do anything for you with that? It makes me uncomfortable to think that people out there like this book. The main reason is because there is a very vivid, very understood rape scene in the book. And it even comes to a point later in the book where the guy says, I'm surprised you like me since I sexually assaulted you. And yet, this is a book that women are screaming at the top of their lungs that they love. It makes me very uncomfortable to think there are women out there, which is the highest number of people who get sexually assaulted, and nothing happened, nothing gets done for justice of that, and they are the ones screaming this book the highest. It's really weird to me.
Yeah, I was taken aback by the fact that there was a rape scene in there.
Mm-hmm.
I and that it was admitted to. That
Mm-hmm.
also took me aback
Yep.
because what do you mean you know that
What you
that's
did.
yeah, that's what you did, right? And I
But
for
she
these
never admitted that it was assault. Did you
no,
realize
she did
that?
not. She did not.
Because
She did not.
I know for a fact that the author knew that if she said it, then it would be a whole different story. But that's already weird because he already said it and he's the one who did it. So I don't know. I don't know.
Also, the fact that we know for a fact that this character has been raped by her brother,
Yes.
right? Um, so you do feel bad for her in that sense, right? You're like, oh my God, you had to deal with this. You ran away. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
only for it to happen again. So it leaves me to think, does the author think that she deserves to be raped?
I honestly think, and this goes into another topic we discussed that we might bring up here.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that a lot of authors, especially when they're white, they think that dark romance means assault, whether that's
But
physical,
yeah,
sexual, emotional.
yeah, I
They,
think dark romance to a lot of people, even the readers,
yes.
because I think that um the author is the for lack of better words, like the overall shaping of this genre, right? Not the
Mm-hmm.
readers. The author shapes this genre. So if I read a book and I throw a whole lot of tropes in there, I throw a whole lot of essay and abuse and all of these things in this to this genre, and people say, "Hey, that's not romance." I can say, "No, no, no, it's dark romance."
Mm-hmm.
So now I've shaped this genre with
Mm-hmm.
these things, and now the readers go, okay, so that's what dark romance is, so that's what I'm looking for. And I don't think, me personally, if that is exactly what dark romance is, I want no part of it.
No
That's
part.
one. Two, in my head, I've read dark romance and thought this world is so fucking dark, but these two people
Are the
are
light in
not.
the dark. Are the
Right, are
light
the
in the
light in the
darkness.
darkness,
Mm-hmm.
right? They love each other, they care for each other, even though someone has abused them, maybe someone has been killed, whatever has gone on, that is the darkness of the story. These two characters are the light within that darkness that makes the romance visible, right?
Yeah.
He cares for her, she cares for him. He loves her, she loves him. But the dark romance is, I talk to you like shit, I treat you like shit, and your panties still get wet.
Makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense to me.
And that's another thing. You can tell that they're perpetuating that stuff in dark romance because of how the woman acts as well. None of the women who are in these dark romances that are written by these type of people, they're never strong. They never speak their mind. They never are taller than 5'4". They never weigh more than 120.
But they also never have their own kinks.
No, it's
They
all
never have their
his.
own. It's always his kink. If he
Yes.
likes to be primal, then we are primal. If he likes to hold me down, then we like to be held
And I
down.
just learned to love it.
Right. And I love it now. And it's like, did you want that before? But see, that leads me into Chantel Tessier's uh, Lord series, right? I read the first book, excuse me, and DNF, the second one. The first book is she has this kink of this rape kink, right? So she doesn't tell anyone, she tells him. And she did tell her boyfriend before him, and he thought that she was a weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, you're a weirdo, you like this weird ass shit, ill,
Mm-hmm.
right? She tells the main guy of the story, and he's like, I can do that for you, right? That I enjoy. Not that I like a rape kink, because I do not, that's not for me, but I like that he saw that she had a kink, not he had one and put it on her, that she had something that she enjoyed, and he was willing to do that for her.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that was the first book where I've read where that is the thing, right? That I have, that FMC has something that she enjoys, and he's along for the ride,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that switched up in book two, where there's nothing but abuse wrought through this whole fucking book. And I'm thinking to myself while I'm reading this, and I had to DNF eventually, that um this girl, this FMC, has been abused so much that she thinks that all of this abuse is sexual, right? So even her abuser abusing her gets her off.
Mm,
And I was like,
I don't like that.
this is not how the first book went. And I guess she said, hey, if you like this, I can go darker. And it's like, that is dark.
I don't
But
like
the
that.
way even that the MMC treats her is like she's a whore. And it's like, but she likes this. And it's like, she was abused to think that she should like this. So now she likes this. And instead of saying, you don't have to like this, he says, well, I know you like this. I'll be the one to give it to you. And it's like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
I I think sometimes when authors write stories like this shows what type of readers you will get. Because let's go back to H.D. Carlton. H.D. Carlton wrote Does It Hurt, whatever that book is called. And then she also wrote The Hunting and Haunting of Adeline. I don't know which one is first. She put on, or she was a part of, a book convention
Yeah.
where she said that some of her like sexual dancer guys who are being paid to work were sexually assaulted by some of the women there. Um, we saw pictures of grown women with jobs and 401ks sucking dildos off a wall. And it's like,
No couth.
no, none, no couth, no, just no properness. And it's sad to say how many sexual assaulters that are women are out there. I always feel like there's a lot of sexual assault, obviously, for that men do, but women go under the radar because men are so evil that
Right.
women go under the radar. The fact that these are paid male dancers and you're touching up all over them. There was an SVU episode about this. I like it's kind of her fault, HD Carlton's fault. One, she didn't protect her dancers. But two, but you write this stuff. You write one character being the abuser and one being the abusee and then falling in love. That's what you write. You write the rape victim getting with the one who raped her. You write that.
Yeah.
So you cannot be surprised when the people who read those books and love those books decide this shouldn't just stay in the book. Because you put that out there. Now, there's a difference between that and let's go the opposite way that have such bad readers as well, like the Boys of Tommen series, where in the entire series, the author is saying these young boys who are athletes are getting taken advantage of by grown women 24/7, and it's not right. It's implicit.
Not okay.
It's implicit.
Yes, it's implicit in the story that these boys are don't even understand that they're being taken advantage of
because they're boys.
Because they're boys, and they're led to believe having sex with women, no matter the age, is okay.
Yes, and then look at the cast, look at the fans of those books. So many of those grown women who read these books are sexually attracted to the young boys who are no older than like 17 in these books.
18,
you are the people, you 18, but still in high school, or whatever across the pond considers high school. You read how you are not the core audience for this book. You are the actual villain of this book, and you're the one who loved this book the most. That is a striking
disconnect.
One author writes, this is okay. This is fun. This is cool. This is great. Because it's dark romance. It's great to do this. The other author is like, this is not okay. You should not be doing this stuff to young boys or young girls, but like I'm mainly focusing on boy athletes. Not good. Yet the audiences are low-key the exact same.
The audience is exactly who the author is telling you is not the right person. especially when those edits came out for the Boys of Tommen series, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, they're hot." You're saying that a 17-year-old boy is hot.
And also, these books are
You're
so dark.
saying that
Mm-mm.
boys in high school are hot. I have never looked at a boy in high school as a grown ass person and said, those boys are hot.
My phone started talking. My bad.
I have never done that, right? And it's like, and that leads me to believe, right? Reading comprehension is at
Mm-hmm.
an all time low.
Mm-hmm.
These people are reading these books for the sex of it all. And that is what you call erotica. You don't go to romance stories for erotic stories. You read erotica because you like the sex. You like the smut of it all,
And there's no
right?
problem with that at all.
There is no problem.
None.
I love an erotic story. It's usually very short. It gets straight to the point. The underlyingness of erotica can sometimes be romance, but it's underlying. The sex is the first, line of
Mm-hmm.
that story. The reason for that story is the sex, the sexualness, the lustfulness, the eroticness of this story. That's what people or women especially seem to be reading romance for, the eroticness of a book. And it's like, that's, if you're reading a good romance book, that's possibly three scenes out of a whole fucking book.
Yeah.
That's not the whole story.
Yeah.
But it seems like everyone, especially in reading the Boys of Tommen series, it seems like they skipped over everything that book. There's no happiness in that fucking book. The moment that they do
Yeah.
have happiness, you're clinging to it because you know you're going to turn the page and something bad is about to happen.
90% of that book, let's go off of the first two books, which is the same couple. 90% of those books are straight up trauma and abuse. And then the 10% that's not, it's her having a, that in my opinion is dark romance. She has a horrible home life. But her light, her shining armor, her whatever it is Johnny. Is that his name?
Yeah, yeah.
Johnny. Shannon and
Yeah,
Johnny.
Johnny and his family.
Yes.
That's her shining light.
And his
It's not
friends.
even,
Yeah.
yes, it's found family. That's the shining light of this book. The darkness is her home life, her family life, her the way
She gets bullied, all the
she gets
things.
bullied, she gets beaten, she gets talked to, she gets mistreated, she gets forgotten. Uh the fact that she's so tiny, like everything about that book is sad and depressing.
Yeah.
And the moment that she gets the light of it, whether it be a semi-sexual scene or just her being happy, you cling to those, yes, because the rest of the book is so dark and you want Shannon to have a happy life. But if you get nothing but hot boys and sexual tension from this book, I think there is a problem with you.
Very much so. Very much so.
That book is not sexy. Like, I don't know what to say. That book is not
Yeah.
sexy.
And you can see even more now that the show has been announced, and
Mm-hmm.
the fans of the books are arguing and upset that this all white cast has a white girl with a tan, because that's still a white woman. Like, they they were talking about this girl getting cast as, I don't even know which character. I think Aoife. They were like upset that she was cast because the way they were talking, I thought this girl was black. I thought she was gonna be black, Hispanic, Middle Eastern. She's still white. She just has curly hair. I was like, a lot of the fans of this series are evil in multiple ways. They
I wonder, that makes me wonder, did the Boys of Tommen series go triple platinum in Ireland as it did in America?
no,
I don't think it did.
no.
I wonder, and that's the thing. I wonder what with the Irish fandom, if it has one or had one or whatever, would think about this story. Because I hope, I pray, I hope and pray that it's set in Ireland, that and that the characters are Irish.
I think they are. I think, but
I hope and pray that it sticks to the canon material. Um, because it's a very good story to tell, that you are not alone, that you can find friends, you can find happiness, people can love you regardless, that no matter how deep and shit you are, there's a way out. Because not Johnny, Joey's story is tragic.
Horribly
Gypsy's
tragic.
story is fucking tragic, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, with all of these tragic boy stories, and Shannon being the tragic girl story of this whole thing, and we're not going to talk about Lizzie, but with all of those tragic stories, where do you get the they're so sexy in that from? I don't know, but again, that tells me what kind of reader you
You
are.
are. Exactly. Exactly.
One, because they are underage boys, and the only one that's not underage at the time that you're reading these books is Johnny, because he turns 18.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone else is still a child. Is still a child. It's crazy to me. Yeah, but going to the next topic. Going to the next topic.
Well, if we want to delve deeper into just random topics or go deeper into what we're already talking about, because we kind of went over a couple topics already, like back to back to back, because we talked about the rape culture of it all, and well, we didn't actually, we spoke on the pedophilia based on Boys of Tommen, which technically, well, I would consider a dark romance, but I think a lot of people more consider it.
I would consider it a dark romance, and the fact that
Yes.
they had to move up the age
Age
limit for
range.
these, yeah,
Yeah.
for these books, when I honestly think, as an adult reading it, I was sad the whole time reading these books, right? Like, oh my God,
Yes.
these children, oh my God, I hope it gets better. That's how I read them. Oh my God, I'm so sad. Oh my God, I hope that they get better. Um, and I'm figuring out things, because I was, especially with Gibson's book, I'm like, who did it? Right.
Mm-hmm.
But with Shannon and Joey's books, I was just like, I hope it gets better. I hope it gets better. I hope they pick right this next time or whatever. But when it comes to other books, right? I don't know. It just,
Well, I want to talk about, because we talked about Boys of Tommen and the weird behavior of the grown women reading these young boys, but we
mhm.
didn't hit on the topic of pedophilia in general. And what I mean by that is one of two things. One, it does feel like sometimes the author writes these women very childlike, even if they're of age.
Yeah,
But and two, the egregious age gaps in romances. But also another thing on top of that, so I guess it'll be three, is how most of these stories are written by Wahite people. And there's a thing in Wahite culture that ties into pedophilic culture. So we can go off on all those points, or we can say that for a different episode.
we might have to save it for a different episode so I could do more research. But I do feel
Mm.
like I'm trying to think of the book. Dr. Daddy was, what was the book? I
I've
it,
never read that.
it was a book.
Are you talking about the
Um,
book by Naomi? Not Naomi.
Naomi, was it something Sloan? Nikki Sloan?
Sierra Simone? No,
No, it was
Nikki Sloan.
Nikki Sloan, right? I think that was it. I know I have it in here somewhere. I don't think I sold it yet, but where he was a doctor, I believe. I don't know, but she was dating his son, and the father, mind you, they were in high school when they were about to go to like prom or something, and he was like, Dad, take this, take these pictures of us or whatever. And he took the picture, and we're in his head, his POV, and they're in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, with her milky white thigh and that. And I was reading, I was like, and I had to keep checking, how old is this girl? Because you keep like high school, just, I don't give a fuck if she was 30 in high school.
Yeah.
high school is still high school.
Yeah. And you have medical degrees.
Right, you have
Like,
medical, you've lived a whole fucking life,
yeah.
and you're talking about milky white thighs. Like when her and his son were having sex by the pool, and he was watching from the window, and I was like, "You're a pedophile."
And also that's
Because,
just weird in general because that's still your son.
but in my head, I'm just like, you can't, and that's where I think it ends for me. Is that where did it start and where did it begin? Because you can't tell me that you just started liking her when she turned 17.
I'm so tired. I'm just so tired of it all. I don't
You can't tell me that. And even if you could tell me that, I wouldn't believe you.
at all.
So that's where my mindset goes. So women are writing these stories, which is pedophilic stories. These are pedophilic stories, right? And they are always on the brink of being of age.
Which
They're
makes
always on
no
the
sense to
brink
me.
when you can just make this bitch older.
And that never comes to play in the story. It's nothing. It never comes to play about
And I hate the fact
her being
that when they don't
17.
make them older, you make them childish as if that's a bad thing, but they are children.
And
Even
they
a
always bring
teenager,
it up.
right? Even a teenager is still a child.
But even if she was 19, you still shouldn't be with her. But at least she's of age.
That's
And
the
that's
least of
insane.
it.
That's the
That's
least
the
of it.
least of it. That does piss me off because I'm like, and I hate the conversation if it comes up in the story, which it always does, of how childish she's being, of how young, or them having that conversation of, I'm too old for you. You knew that when you was watching her fuck your son and thinking y'all could be together.
It's very
You knew
upsetting.
that when you when your son was about to graduate high school with this girl.
Hello? Hello.
Or the fact that y'all anything that has to be hidden is wrong. If you have to hide it, you know that it is wrong. If you have to hide the fact that you're sleeping with your ex-boyfriend's daddy, it's wrong. If
Mm-hmm.
you're hiding the fact that you're sleeping with a 17-year-old, soon to be 18,
Mm-hmm.
it's wrong.
It's
It's
very
always
wrong.
on the line. It's always on the line of it's like
Of taboo,
I
that
just
taboo
read
thing.
yes, I just read Never by Jessa Hastings. And again, I love a retelling or whatever. But she was 17 when she left with Peter Pan. And it seems like just for the story, they aged him up as well. Because her grandparents, her mother and her grandmother had went away with Peter Pan too when they were younger. But back then he was still a little boy. So they were little children. He was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
For this story, she's 17. She was looking for a little boy to come through her window, and he was 21. Like he was 18 to 21. And she was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be waiting for you. I think I was supposed to be waiting for a child. He was like, nope, it's me. And then she was 17, and Peter Pan and Hook kept going at her. But it wasn't until she turned 18 that they actually had sex with her. What is the point? That's grooming. That's grooming. That's grooming. And for anyone who thinks that's sexy, again, I feel some type of way about you and your reading choices, which also might lead me to think, what are you doing in your real life?
I just don't get the point. I don't get the point of making. I think honestly, what the author is trying to do is be like, see, he's not a bad person. He waited until she was of age. But if he stayed in her circle until she turned 18, like you said, that is grooming. I
That's
want you to never
grooming.
forget me before you turn 18. That's
So that
weird.
I'm the one that you choose when you turn 18.
And then women will read this book and be like so hot and heavy. And then, but if this was their daughter, oh, they'd be killing that man. Hopefully. Hopefully. Like,
Hopefully.
if my daughter come home and be like, oh my God, I like this guy. She's 17 years old, but he's 29. He's getting run over with a car. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? That's weird. I feel like a lot of these authors either think that's okay or they what you beeping over there for?
Oh, because the fan was going everywhere but where I needed it to go. But go ahead.
But either the authors think it's okay, or they know it's not okay, but they don't want to be blamed for being pedophilic. So they be like, but they didn't do anything to their 18. Not forgetting there's multiple parts of being a pedophile slash sexual assaulter, because grooming is a big part of that, especially when it's with underage people.
Especially when it's with people that are around you in your circle.
It's so weird.
So, right, if I'm a person, like I could never, like, that's why I said if I'm a person, um, I'm a parent and I've known this man, right? We've been friends for forever. And I have a child, and he's also known her since, because I'm a parent, he's known her since she was, let's say, 12. And then they both leave or whatever, and my child comes back into the house like, hey, and I'm with your friend who's 40 and I'm 18. I'm fucking him up because you've known her since she was 12. So you cannot tell me you don't remember her being 12. That's just gross.
Yet they don't see it that way. That's
Yeah.
weird. Let's go into lighter topics. Well,
Okay.
I don't know if this is gonna be lighter. I don't know. But let's just talk about let's just talk about sex in books. And honestly, it's mainly traditionally published books, because I feel like sex in indie books is a lot different. I told you this when I read Twisted Love for the first time last month or the month before.
Mm-hmm.
Hate the series, by the way. Love the first book, but okay. Um, I told you I could tell that Anna Wong was indie at first
Yeah.
because of the way she wrote her sex scene. In indie books, it's more about the talking that's happening during the sex. It's the explaining what I'm gonna do to you and all this other stuff, which I like. But in traditionally published romance, they're telling you what's happening during the sex, and it's very bland. It's very typical, and it's very quick and to the point. Like sometimes to the point where I'm like, you shouldn't have had a sex scene. I'm okay if you don't have a sex scene. I understand a part of romance is sex. Doesn't mean we got to see y'all sex scenes, because that brought nothing to the table. It didn't make our connection stronger. It didn't like get me hyped or y'all hyped. I'm pretty sure you lying. So I don't see the point of it. In a lot of traditional public romances, how do you feel?
Um, I think indie romance sex scenes are better. They're more fun. They're more entertaining. Um, like, and it doesn't matter for me, white or black. Indie sex scenes are just better.
Yeah.
It's because there's more time. Like, they don't have a page count to go by. They don't have a word count to go by. They don't have anybody to answer to but themselves, right? So they're like, I want to take this to the moon and back. They can and they will, and it'll be entertaining to read. Um, and it seems like the characters are also enjoying themselves, right? In a traditionally published romance, it's fast, it's boring, and it reads like it's fast. It reads
Yes.
like it started and it's over and we're both satisfied. And it's like, we didn't need it then. We didn't need it.
We didn't.
We didn't need it. Um yeah, but let's talk about the wording of sex scenes in books. I feel like, okay, I think I'm gonna change my stance on cock, dick, and penis. I think I'm gonna change my stance. Okay.
Okay.
Cock gives me the ick, dick is harsh, and penis is childish. I've said it before, right? I DNF'd 365 days. And I think it was because, and I'm honestly thinking it's the translation of the book that made the word penis
Girl,
a
the
million
translation of
times.
the movies weren't good either. I think that's
But this,
just the book. I think that's just the book. I
because if
think
she actually wrote penis instead of dick or cock, that's crazy to me.
I don't
But
have a problem with penis.
I think it's you know why I have a this is how why I have a problem with penis in a sex scene, especially. Imagine you're reading one of your favorite indie or
In
whatever
vagina.
books, and they say, "I took my penis out." What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Uh,
To do what? Were you at the doctor's office? Like, stop that. Grow the fuck up. But I do feel like cock is like when I see it, I get the ick real quick. I get
But
the ick
that
real
is a
quick.
white people term. That's not a
It
black
is.
people term.
It does not show up in black books, which I am. That's the difference. Is cock is for white people and dick is for
For
black
black
people,
people, yes.
and they both assault me equally. They both assault me equally because it's like cock makes me. It does make me laugh because I know some shit about to happen, but the word though, dick, does not. It's not always like that though. You know what I mean? Like they don't say the word dick often,
Yeah.
but when they say it, I also feel like, oh, some shit about to go down, right? But the word cock is prevalent, prevalent. Like they say it throughout. They say it out loud. They say it to themselves. They say it to each other. I'd be like, whoa, whoa.
But here's the thing. There isn't a word that will be good because the
There
words
isn't.
I've seen for a penis, other than those three, again, like uh velvet wrapped rod or steel, velvet wrapped steel. Hey, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Vagina is no different because you get tunnel, hole,
Slit.
slit. It
Her slick. Slick? Like,
that
I
makes me
just,
think of a snail, and I'd be icked out. I'd
well,
be
snail trail is a
cringing.
thing.
What? A
Snail
snail trail
trail.
is a thing.
I just
But
don't think,
those are not words I want to hear. I want to read.
honestly, I just don't think anything dealing with sex and the body parts that go along with it, none of them are attractive outside of a sex setting, for you included. So, while if you're having sex and you're doing all this stuff, you're in the moment, everything's going well, it makes perfect sense right here in this moment. But as you reading it, you not in that sex scene. It's uncomfortable for you to read for that reason.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so I think no matter what, it'll always be weird because everybody has their own different way of liking things said to them. And the
right,
author obviously wrote it for herself. For y'all too, but for herself. She wrote it to be like, this is what I like.
right. This is what I want to hear, and it's
And
like, girl, we don't need
she
to
don't give
hear
a
what
damn
you
about
want to
y'all.
hear.
And that's and she should write what you want to write, girly. But at the same time, it's like, did we have to say it like that?
When things happen, especially, I'm thinking of indie. When things happen in indie romance, they are hotter. You're sitting there like, oh, should I be here? Like, oh my goodness. Like I feel like I'm interrupting something.
Yes, especially if you're reading the audiobook, listen to audiobook. Girl, get that out
Right.
my
If you're
ears.
if,
Get that out my ears. I feel like I'm intruding on a moment. Get that
when
out my
when
ears,
the
please.
narrators especially
Be
are
moaning and groaning.
are putting on a fucking spectacle when they're moaning and groaning
I be
and
clutching my
right, I'd be like,
pearls. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
yeah, I
And you
do
can
like
tell that.
an indie one better.
And you can tell it in Twisted Love by Anna Huang. If anybody who's ever read the book, listen, I guess, but read how their sex scene goes, it's basically him telling her what she gonna do, what he gonna do to her doing the same thing back to him. Obviously, they're explaining what's going on, but it's just so much more in depth because they're actually talking. I realize in traditionally published sex scenes, they don't talk to each other while they're having sex, unless it's like, I love you. Boy, I don't care about that right now. Like, this is not the time
I want
to
to
be
know where you
telling me.
stick the things, what you're doing.
This is not the time. I also don't like that in books in general either. Don't tell me you love me for the first time when we having sex. You on a high right now. So don't piss me off.
Yeah.
But it's so different compared to traditionally published where it's like narration instead. It's like she's doing this, he's doing that, she's doing this, he's doing that. She feels this way and then she explodes or whatever the hell. Like
Like he explodes.
like whatever they say for her having an orgasm. She
Yeah.
erupts, she explodes, she does this, she does that. And I'm like, I
You
know it
know
wasn't that
what
good.
I dislike? In every single book, they erupt together.
Or she holds it for him. No. No, 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 no,
Or I'm
no.
waiting for him. I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting. What? What?
No, 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 no,
What?
no. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. No, 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 no.
That pisses me off too, because I'm like, what? What?
Especially when the scenes are so short and it's still taking you this long. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hurry this up. Hurry this up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't get it. You have anything else to say about the sexual manners in books?
Not really. I do, like I said, I do prefer indie over traditional. But
also, a thing that you don't see much in traditionally published romances that I see quite often in traditional in indie is women self-pleasuring themselves. You don't see
in indie or in traditional.
I see it in indie. I don't see it in traditional. Or at least not as much. But I don't think I've ever read a traditional where she's self-pleasuring. Like, it could be she's like hot and heavy because she's thinking about him, but also that's not enough to get me hot and heavy. It's just a picture of your face. Don't piss me off. You might be beautiful, but again, me thinking about your face will never get me hot and heavy, no matter how beautiful you are. But in indie books, there's a lot of scenes that I've read where a woman is self-pleasuring herself, whether she's thinking about him and their past interactions with each other or whatever. And I think that's just so realistic because women do pleasure themselves. I feel like in a lot of books, and men obviously do it as well, and I don't really want to see that much, but it can happen. I don't mind that either because, again, why shouldn't you be? Y'all are grown people who can't have sex 24/7. Sometimes get your rocks off by yourself. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But in traditionally published books, it's like she can't be sexual without her partner.
Without him, yeah.
And that's just not realistic. And I've also seen in indie books where the women are watching porn. That also does not happen in traditionally published books. Like, it's like a woman cannot be sexual without her partner. Whether it's a lesbian relationship, a heterosexual, a woman cannot, or non-binary, whatever. A woman cannot be sexual without her sexual partner. And that is not realistic to the real world. I know y'all got a rose in y'all dresser right now, in y'all nightstand right now. So you telling me you can't do nothing without your boyfriend? Please.
I think
and that's upsetting.
That because it's traditional, there's so much that they take out to box the situation in, to box the romance in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's not a good way to go about it. Especially when they take an indie author and make them a traditional author.
You see
And
how much it they start to go bland.
yes, you see how their writing changes. Um, it happened with Kimberly Lemon. It happened with Kennedy Ryan. Um, it to me, it happens very often when you've read the indie works of an author and you're like, oh my God, I love this. They go traditional. You think nothing of it as a reader. You're just like, oh, this author is now going to have more eyes on their work, which is great for them. You go pick it up. And I think most people are lying to themselves if they say this hasn't changed. Because even though, in my opinion, Kennedy Ryan has more say so and a lot more things that she does and how it goes down, that writing has changed. That
But
writing
it
has
can only be
definitely changed.
noticed by people who read her when she was indie first. And a
Right.
lot of people love to harp on the fact that they don't read indie, but then the second that person becomes traditional, all of a sudden you want to read them. So a
Yeah.
lot of people don't realize that her writing has changed because a lot of her fans are newer fans and didn't read her when she was indie. They started with Before I Let Go and just and continue from there.
A lot of her friends, a lot of her newer readers, or no, a lot of her readers that did read her when she was indie are choosing
To
not
forget
to
certain books.
remember that she wrote them fucked up ass books.
Yep. We
And
were
I
reading
also find that weird. I also find that weird. I think
that
we
could
need
be
to
another
do
episode.
an
Mhm.
episode on that. Write it down. I'm gonna write it down. It needs to be an episode because
I'm writing them right
those
now.
fucked up ass books that she wrote, um
And
the king
she's written at least minimum four.
at least four, yes, the Kingmaker and those the three-part book series, the Grip series, trash,
Yep.
absolute fucking trash, and racial trash at that.
Yep.
So I think that people have selective memories. They remember what they want to remember. They treat authors good or bad depending on how they see fit. I think because Kennedy Ryan has now jumped into her her status of being this big over big romance writer that everyone wants a piece of, and she's gotten shot into the limelight so heavily everyone wants to act like she ain't write them fucked up ass books, them trash ass racially motivated ass books,
Yep.
and that pisses me off. Now mind you, I still love the Hoop series down, but the mother books,
Trash.
and the fact that the Before I Let Go, that series is not
Romance.
romantic.
Hmm.
That series is a women's fiction
Fiction.
series. That is not a romantic series. That is
Very
not a
true.
romantic series. And any reader who thinks so, I want you to put down in the comments, when was it romantic between the two main characters of either one of those three books. Put it in the comments.
I won't be in that comment section. I haven't read those books. I've decided after reading The Kingmaker, Candy Ryan will never, ever, ever be for me. Um, she's
I'm
on my
glad that
banned
I
book list.
read the Hoop series first. I'm glad that
Yes.
I read that first because I will be honest. Had I read the Kingmaker first, she would have never gotten another read out of me. Had I read Before I Let Go, that series, she would have never gotten another read out of me because again, I am a romance reader first, and I'm always looking for romance. Those books are not romantic,
Hmm.
and I don't like women's fiction. So
Oh, hold on. Let's talk about that real quick, just so that you guys can get to know us a little bit. Give us your top three. You know how people be like my Virgo moon, my sun rising, my whatever.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know the
those.
I don't know those. I only know my I'm
Right.
a Virgo. But what are your
I'm a
top three?
Sagittarius.
What are
Hmm.
your top three book genres in order from best or like
In
favorite?
order.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would say romance is number one. Number two, I would say thriller slash mystery. And then number three, I would say would be fantasy.
Okay.
Fantasy slash romantasy, but yes. fantasy.
Okay. For me, my number one will always and forever be fantasy. If we want to get more specific, it's urban fantasy is my number one. And then number two is always going to be romance. And then my number three is mystery. Not mystery thriller, not horror, mystery specific, because I love to pretend to be a detective. So,
Yeah.
and now a thriller can have a mystery in it, so that could be mystery thriller slash thriller. But I love to be a detective, so mystery would be my number three. So yeah, maybe we'll do an episode of getting to know us a little bit better, um, in an upcoming episode. Now I have
Yeah.
some other things here that could apply that we have for what we wanted to talk about. That could apply for still talk about bodies and stuff like that, because we also have on here the height and weight of female characters.
Yeah, we have a little time left where we can go into that. I'm 5'10",
I'm 5'9".
and tall characters are not a thing in books. Tall women characters are not a thing in books. Um, I find it weird in real life how a 5'4" woman, her go-to man is a 6 foot and higher guy.
Mm-hmm.
When you are 5'4", anything over, let's put you in 6 inch heels. Let's put you in 6 inch heels. So now you're 5'10". Anything 5'10" and bigger is tall enough for you.
Mm-hmm. And you not, and all women always say when they wearing heels, as if you
Not
wear
all
heels
women wear heels,
24/7. Like you
right? And
don't
not
wear
all
heels
women wear
24/7.
heels.
Yeah.
So talking all that, and if you're wearing heels 24/7, something weird. I know your feet fucked up. Um,
Damn.
so in heels, on the account that you wear 6 inch heels on this one day out of the week,
Mm-hmm.
you need him to be 6'3" and bigger. That's
Mm-hmm.
weird. But we did realize when we went to Southern Hearts and Sign Kisses the first time,
All the authors are
we
short.
were, but we were also some of the, except for maybe a good handful of others, we were the tallest people in that room.
Yeah, by a long shot.
So I don't know if tall people actually read romance. I don't know if tall
Girl.
people read romance. Um, from that small little study that really wasn't done but was done. I don't know if tall women read romance, and authors are not tall. I've realized that female authors are not tall in the slightest. I was always, trying to hunch down to get a picture with them. So I would understand, and I do understand that writing a female character as a short person, um, your characters would be short. Your female characters would be short. Um, I never see tall women in books. And then to caveat to that, and a caveat to that would be a lot of the authors that I've met or seen or know of are not skinny any many people. Some of them are. Brianna Michelle is a skinny mini. She's a really teeny person. Um, A.E. Valdez, she's a really skinny person. I don't know. I can't think of a lot. Casey Mills, she's also a skinny woman. A lot of
But
these
she's
women,
also
though,
tall.
she is tall. But a lot of these women are thicker, are fatter. Um, and I don't see that in the books either. If it's a plus size character, she's plus size, but she is a certain figure. She's hourglass. There's no fupa. There's no hanging skin underneath the arms or whatever you want to call it. That's not realistic either.
Mm-hmm.
They're never wearing shapewear in these books. They're never saying, "Nah, we gotta make that smooth," right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little. I feel like your bias is showing when I read these books. You're biased against dark skinned women, even when you're a dark skinned author. You're biased against tall girls because you're short. You're biased against fat women, even though you're fat.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, fat is not a bad word. It's not a bad word. People are just fat.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. It's okay to be fat. But why is it okay for you to be fat as a fat author, but not write the character as a fat woman? And if you write her as bigger, she's bigger, but she has to look a certain way in that bigger body.
And even if she looks that certain way, she most likely will be insecure. And if she's not the one who's insecure, her family, for whatever
Her
reason,
family is insecure for
like,
her.
that's. Don't even get me started on
Curvy
that book.
Girl Summer, is that what it's called?
Don't get me started on that book.
Curvy
Don't
Girl
get me.
Summer
Don't
was
get me.
trash.
Don't get
And
me
the
started
fact that
on that book.
everyone thought that book was the best book since sliced bread.
Don't get me started on that book. I could talk by my lonesome for an hour and a half about everything I hated about that book. Don't piss me off. Don't tell me she needs to get skinny for a boat. I'm not
A
playing with you.
boat.
I'm not playing with you.
When she made her own fucking money, a boat.
And again, let's move on because I'm gonna get angry. I'm gonna get angry.
So let's end it. We have just put in the comments anything that you want our opinions on, because like it says, I be talking ish.
And I always have an opinion.
So we can give you our opinions, our thoughts on books, on trends, on authors, on everything bookish. Because I do want to talk about in another episode our book to screen adaptations. We didn't touch on that today. So let us know in the comments anything that you want us to talk about, or if we have thoughts on it, we might just touch on it. But again, I'm Sasha Bonet from Reading Spence and Chai Sips.
And I'm Karen from Between Paperback Worlds. And this is the end of our first episode of Burning at Both Bookends. You better appreciate that title. I think it's very clever. So thank you guys for joining us, and goodbye, everyone.